So for the base, I've just applied one spray coat of filler putty, and I've just applied some wood filler around the edges, just so I felt there was a bit of inconsistency. Now I'm just going to run around those edges with a bit of sandpaper. Once I'm done, I'll then add another spray of filler putty. While the base dries, I've got all the money here. I did some tests, you see they're a bit all over the place, but I was essentially, this was a clover ink on top of a light, I think it was flayed one flesh. This was Colia green shade over a flayed one flesh, and I was just messing around with consistencies. Again, with the ink, you can kind of see a strong consistency, slowly watered down. I think the problem I had with those is there was just a bit too much green and not enough depth between the lines. So I decided to go with something more near the top, probably not as scratchy, hopefully. But essentially having those darker lines, very little tones of green in between, and I'll create more green shadow below. And that's what I'm going to go for. So for that, I'm going to start off with my Zandri dust. So I'm just going to base all of these now. So now I've added the Zandri dust. I now want to go around the whole thing and add some Agrax Earthshade. Right, so the Agrax Earthshade on the Zandri dust on the money has now dried, and the second coat of the filler putty is dried. I think that's really helped smooth out the edges. So I don't know if you can see there. Some slight inconsistencies, but I'm still going to add a black gloss to this, and I think that will cover up the last of it and help smooth it down. So for the money, I now just want to get a shabty bone, and I'm just going to do a dry brush over the whole thing, and I'll come back with that, and once this has a black gloss. It's just drying. You know, it's all been dry brushed, really heavy dry brush. You can see it's looking really messy and scratchy, but you know, money is messy, so it's what it is. I've now got the Colia green shade. As I said, I mean, if you'd be happy with this darker tone, stop there. But I just felt like I feel money, you know, green money. I don't know. Just felt like it needed a bit of a tint. So I've now got the Colia green shade, probably 50-50 with water, if I'm honest. So actually, I'd say that's even a little bit still too heavy. Just put some extra water on my brush. I'm just going to now coat it around. I'm going to try and get bigger pools, so like where the lines are, I want a bit more green. But overall, I'm just going to very lightly coat the entire thing with this Colia green shade. On the mask, I've coated it Bugman's Glow. I'm now going to dry brush it with Cadian Flesh Tone. Heavy dry brush with the Cadian Flesh Tone. Just want to add a nice light and focused dry brush with the Kislev Flesh. A slightly watered down coat of the Kislev Flesh, just to fill out all of those more solid blocks across the top. Now a tiny bit of white to the eyes. So now I've applied the white, and just going to take some black acrylic and fill in all the areas of the black. Easy, didn't want to spend too much time on it. Now I'm going to slap on a matte acrylic. So I now have the matte varnish on the face. I like it, simple. And I have the base with the gloss black. Just really a way just to get a quick black shine over it. You won't be able to see most of it, but at the same time I don't want it to have a direct black base. So I've just got some silver. It again is some Vallejo gunmetal mixed with a bit of just plain silver to lighten it up. Slightly dry brush, really quite scatty brush, ignore the green. I just want to start scratching this over. I'm going to slightly build up this effect and just help it, hoping, look a bit more like a metallic floor space. I've just started building that up directly to the Vallejo silver, so again just stabbing it around, just trying to create a ununiform silver surface. So I've now stacked the the money onto the base just so I can get an idea of where I want to stack it. I'm now going to go around each one, just start painting the money holder, or the piece of paper holding the money, with pallid witch flesh. So that's it all painted over. Only added one coat as because it was boring as hell to paint a lot of it. I'm now going to add a black wash and then just neaten up afterwards. Gone around all the edges there, glued everything down in the positions I want it. I'm just going to apply a dry brush of a shabty bone, mainly over the tops, but working my way down just to create a bit of a gradient as I go. I also just went over the top with the shabty bone as well, and now I'm just going to apply a light dry brush of Screaming Skull over just the tops. So top maybe 2 stacks. I'm going to add the final coat of Agrax Earthshade over everything. I have watered it down 50-50 just so it's not as strong over the shades. So the Agrax Earthshade is dried. I've cleaned up the straps with the padded rich flesh, and I'm now with a very watered down shabty bone just putting it over the tops of the money stacks, just to kind of bring the colour up, but you've still got the translucency, so it's not going to have like a really solid a solid finish on the top. So I'm just going around each of these and adding this very watery finish just to help bring the top colour up.